Hi, third graders. Welcome back. The last couple days, we have been talking about finding the area of a rectangle. Remember, area is the amount on the inside, the number of square units we find on the inside. And we can find the area on the inside by multiplying those rows times columns, right? So thinking of the inside of a rectangle being a lot like an array, something that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Today, we're going to shift our focus a little bit, and we're going to add another fact to our toolbox of multiplication facts. So you've already learned fives, you've learned twos, tens, nines, threes. Today, we're going to add the four facts to our toolbox. So I'm not going to draw on my math board on my number path. I'm going to use page 59 in our book, and you have this. You don't have to look at it right now, but remember, you can go back and refer to it at any time. If we're counting by fours or multiplying by four, that just means we're circling a group of four, and every time we circle an extra group, we're adding four more, right? So we circle four. That means we're starting with one group of four. We circle a second group, two groups of four, okay? And that equals 8. We keep adding groups of four. Now think about it. If you already know your twos, you really know a lot of your fours because it's just twice as many, right? So notice that these multiples, those are our count bys, the numbers we land on. These are all even numbers, right? They end in either a 0, a 2, a 4, a 6, or an 8. We learned that about odds and evens, that when the ones place is a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. These are all even numbers. That means we can split them equally into two groups. You're going to start to practice your fours count bys. Now, after this video, I want you to watch another video that I have posted, and it's a fun song about counting by fours. So if you can use your fingers to count by, maybe you use a song to count by, maybe you practice with flashcards or with flash to pass. There's lots of ways for you to practice your four count bys. And in your math book, you also have flashcards that you can cut out. So let's flip to the next page because you're getting really good at being able to do your count bys, your multiples. And let's think, before we even start, can you think of some things that come in groups of four? So think about, sometimes things might come in a group of four, but what always comes in a group of four? How about wheels on a car? There's always four wheels on a car, right? Think about shapes. A square always has four sides. There are 4 quarters in $1, always. Look there are 4 legs on this horse as well. So most animals, right, have 4 legs unless they've had some kind of an accident. But look this horse has 4 legs. So let's think about what you know. Remember, we've already learned fives, tens, twos, nines, threes, and now we're going to learn fours. Look at all those facts that you can practice. And remember, if you know 5 times 10, then you know 10 times 5. If you know 2 times 9, then you know 9 times 2. So do you see how you're starting to be able to flip those factors? Because you know a lot of them already. Remember, when we flip the factors, our product doesn't change. So let's use that 5 shortcut that we have learned. We learned it with our threes because you know how to count by fives so good. Here's the word problem. And remember, when there's a word problem, right? When we're solving a word problem, we have to use the deal. But here, we're just practicing our count bys. It says, how many legs are on 6 horses? Find the total by starting with the 5th count by and counting up from there. So we circled a group of 5 because you're really good at counting by 5s, right? Here are 5 groups of, and there are 4 legs because they're asking us about legs. So 5 groups of 4, right? You're counting. See what you come up with. I hope you got 20. When you start with a shortcut like that, you don't have to start at the beginning, right? You do use what you know, what you've already learned as a shortcut. So now if I'm just adding another group, right? We're trying to find the number of legs on 6 horses. Here's 5 horses. We're just adding one more group of legs. So 20 plus 4 more legs would bring me to 24. We're going to look at number 2. It talks about how many sides are in 8 quadrilaterals. A quadrilateral is a 4-sided shape. We'll learn about that in 3rd grade. Okay, but there are 8 quadrilaterals. Quad means 4, so that means 4-sided. Well, here's a group of 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So let's take what we know. We have 5 groups of 4. We know from above that that's 20 because these all have 4 sides. Keep counting. What's 4 more? What's 4 more? What's 4 more? Right? So that tells me 4 times 8 is 32 because I have 4 sides and there are 8 groups. So use that shortcut because you know your 5s really well. That saves a lot of time. Then you don't have to start and count, right? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. If you know 5 groups of 4 make 20 right away, you can start at that point. So it's a shortcut. Remember, we've said that multiplication is a shortcut for addition. All right, let's look at this one down here. Do you remember we talked about math rules? They're called properties. So this is the distributive property. This is the one where it says, I can find the area of a really big rectangle by breaking that rectangle up into 2 different parts. Okay, so things that I know. Here's a group of 5. Here's 2 more because there are 7 rows altogether. So I just took that 7 and broke it up into 5 plus 2 more because I know my 5s really well. So let's look at the directions. It says this large rectangle is made up of 2 small rectangles. Find the area, what's on the inside, of the large rectangle by finding the areas of the 2 small rectangles and adding them together. So let's look at the green part. I know there are 5 rows, and there are 4 in each row. Remember, we put a parentheses, hugs around those. 5 times 4. And we're going to add the green to the yellow. Now there are 2 rows, still 4 in each row. Okay, so let's see if we can solve this. 5 times 4, we know from above, is 20. What's 2 times 4? 2 groups of 4. It's like saying 4 plus 4 more. That's 8. So we have 28 square units. Remember, you're following along. You can pause the video at any time to catch up or replay it in case you need to hear something over. So I have 20 plus 8. The green one is 20. The yellow one is 8. I could even count to check to make sure I'm right. So how do I use that? Right? I add them together. I get 28. Let's see what I get when I have 7 rows of 4. Let's count them because I don't know how to multiply by 4s very well yet. And I know I don't know how to do 7s yet. So let's count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I have 28 square, remember that's my abbreviation, square units for my large rectangle. It's 7 rows with 4 in each row. That shows me over here. But I broke that 7 into 2 parts that I know. I always know my groups of 5 and then whatever's left over. Okay? Remember, we are just touching base on this distributive property. You'll catch on. It might be today. It might be next week. It might be when we revisit it later in 3rd grade. Okay, but remember, properties in multiplication are just special rules that we have to follow.